Hey guys, and welcome to the Storage Room 3.0 showcase slash build request video I'm doing here. And yeah, this is a prototype of the Storage Room 3.0 we are going to rebuild in our Zipkrowd server as soon as possible. And I'm showing you this because I need your inputs to this design. The thing is, the redstone layout is mostly done and it's also mostly working already. I'm going to talk about the changes, what we did here, and why we are going to rebuild our storage room once again in a bit. But first of all, why do I need your help? Well, this currently looks a little bit strange, and as you know, I can do everything but designing stuff properly. My designing skills are the worst, and so this is the case for many of our members here who are good at redstone. We aren't really able to build really decent builds. So even if we were, it would just still be very awesome to see how you would design the storage room. So you will be able to get the world download of this prototype here and just replace the blocks or just mess around with the design and come up with the coolest setup you can find. One example over here is made by Old Gannon. He tried it once, and as you can see, this looks completely different, and it's obviously not done yet. But just saying, it would be awesome if you could help us getting the best and most awesome storage room, and not only redstone-wise, but also design-wise. So as you can see, this prototype is still somewhat unfinished. This bottom section here is completely empty yet, but the furnace array which is built in here is actually already working. Over here there are the input chests. We just made this raw sketch setup, let's say it this way, for you to experiment with it. And it's important that if you want to change the design here and if you want to help me, that you just keep in mind to not actually move any of the redstone parts, just work around it pretty much. So for example, over here, this is going to be the interface for the different items sorter switches for our witch farms. You know, we have in our storage room, we do have those buttons where you can trigger whether you want redstone or glowstone to be farmed by the witch farms. And this is going to take some space vertically downwards. But in general, we will be able to adjust anyway. But just keep in mind, don't try to move the redstone components. Just work around them. That would be the best. And also, you can feel free to add your own little contraptions in any empty space there is, because obviously we left a lot of room here for your own ideas. That doesn't necessarily mean that you just have to enclose the whole building in some kind of building block. You can also add whatever you want to. At some point we're also going to add the potion sorter. Obviously that's not yet built in here, but we will decide on that when we receive some feedback. Okay, so what did we change and why did we change the layout of the storage room once again? So first, most obvious reason, well, in 1.7 we got quite a lot of new items. There are those stained glass paints and also just the stained glass in general, which means that our old storage room just hadn't the capacity to add those new items. Now you might be wondering, why did we just not just add more chests to the already existing corridors? And the reason is the lag. The old storage room created massive amounts of lag, both client and server side, and expanded this even further wouldn't have been tolerable. I don't know if this word exists, but you know what I mean, anymore. So Spire and I took the time to try to reduce and minimize the lag of the storage room once again. And we managed to reduce the amount of hoppers by around 500, while still increasing the amount of slots here by 50%. The main reason is that we only have one double chest and an additional hopper in the back for each item type now, which makes perfect sense for most items. It doesn't make sense to have 3 double chests for each dye color, because we never actually had more than few stacks of this dye color anyway, since we are not yet necessarily farming it or needing it. So most of our chests in the old storage room are actually empty, and as well as the hoppers behind them, and hoppers create massive server and client stress. That is one thing, and the next thing is that we are reducing the amount of item frames by quite a lot. Maybe you remember how our old design looked like. We had item frames above the chests indicating what's inside. Well, right now we just put the block which is indicating what's inside the chest below, which gives us the opportunity to replace most of the item frames with the actual blocks. So over here you can see we started with laying out the wool colors here and the glass panes and everything, and you can nicely see what's in there without having any lagging item frames on this whole side here. And yeah, that reduces the lag which this thing is causing by quite a lot. So next thing which we did is we invented this new item sorter here, which is tileable, overflow protected. So the stack here can't ever have more than 64 slots, and that will still not trigger the adjacent row. And it's very compact and uses quite a lot of cauldrons, and they are necessary in this design, which is, yeah, it's pretty funny. And yeah, that's what we came up with, and it was really a lot of work to stack this all so close together, but yeah, the result is really worth it. We also changed the layout of the ice currents. As you can see, there are no more horizontal currents in front of the exits. Before we had those currents going, not currents, but you know, connection lines from one side to the other going around the whole storage room design. They were necessary because we didn't have Test's awesome item elevator yet. So to avoid adding those redstone item elevators everywhere, we had to connect all chests of the same height without any elevator in the middle, and this caused this to be very closed and not very optimal. So with Test item elevator we managed to get this a lot smoother and in general more compact, as you can see. So in 1.7 we also are stumbling across another issue, and that is the renderer has been updated, and now it renders transparent blocks behind each other, probably, as most of you know, but apparently this causes quite a big performance hit on the game. Right now you can't really tell it probably from the video footage because it's capped at 30 FPS anyway, but if I turn on the upper clock here, so my current frame rate is 103 roughly. So do you see any difference? Nope, nothing. Still the same. This clock here, well, there is a difference. It drops by 30 FPS. It looks like it wasn't much, but as you can maybe see from the footage, the frame rate isn't consistent at all. There are like very fast and very short frames in between huge laggy frames, and you definitely feel the lag a lot. And you know, what is the problem here? Why is this one causing lag and this one not? Well, the issue is that the renderer updates the whole section of where the blocks are in when any block is updated. So there's actually no light update within this particular clock here. A comparator doesn't actually cause light updates. It's just the pure block updates which cause this lag here. Same if I'm just going to place or remove a block, or in general if one of those items hopper sorter triggers as well actually. As soon as there is any thing happening within the same section of a lot of redstone, and that's what's happening here. We get a lot of comparators, a lot of hoppers, a lot of chests, a lot of very complex blocks. They all get re-rendered and re-updated, and that causes a lot of lag, especially since 1.7, because there has been changes in the renderer which made stuff look better, but at the same time cost more performance. And so we tried to avoid any redstone clocks in particular in this design, so we outsourced any dropper clocks, for example, within different sections. That's why these towers are so high up. They are not causing any lag because they are in a different section, and that way we can get rid of quite a lot of this so-called redstone lag, as most of you probably know it. Yeah, this is one change we made, and well, that's actually what the main changes we did so far. We also changed the arrangement of the bike sorter, also the bike storage room. It's just now on the same level, and this is where the potion sorter was previously. We are just going to add it behind that one, and this way we can just way easier access all the items we will have in mass quantities, obviously. And well, 1.7 leaves you a lot of new design options. For example, we can use the colored glass to indicate where items are going to raise or drop down. And well, in general, we try to overhaul the whole design and just make it better in as many points as possible. So that's the changes for the guys who were interested. I think that covers everything I wanted to talk about in this video. We can actually see this thing once in actions already. So the sorters aren't all set up yet. Most of these tunnels are actually empty. As you can see, there aren't any items attached to the site yet. This is also something you can do if you want to. Find a proper layout for all the items, which are now in 1.7. This side here is already working. This is where we started with. So let's just see whether it actually works. Getting, let's say, a stack of lime wool, a stack of pink wool, and a stack of brown clay. No, this is actually gray stained clay, okay. And put it in the central slots and see whether they get sorted in properly. As you can see, the sorter fires also with twice the speed right now. We're using test elevators, so items race properly. They will, yeah, go through a lot of different sorters. This one here is for the sticks, for our furnace array. Over here, this is another threshold because we are actually have 4 chests on there. So if you are firing them all at once, the sorter won't be able to handle this amount of items. So we need a threshold in the middle. Items are being dispensed here. This is going through the bulk storage sorters, which are twice as fast. And once again, being raised way up to a different section to avoid any lag. And now there's a second threshold because the bulk sorter still has twice the speed of the actual sorter for all other items which aren't sorted there. And now the items will get sorted into these hoppers, hopefully. As you can hear, it actually works, and I broke this redstone clock previously, so that's why we have a lot of redstone floating here. Let's see what happens. So what kind of items did we get? Pink, gray, and lime. Taking a look at this chest here. The one is not filled yet. Ta-da. Pink already is filling up. Gray is not yet, but the order in which those items are actually filling up is random. So we just should see them all filling up anytime. Let's take a look. Ta-da. 64. It's starting to fill up over here, and we are starting to see the gray stained clay being filled in this chest here. So it works. It's actually also a lot quicker than our old sorter because we just decreased the distance the items have to travel. We also were able to do this by using packed ice next to glowstone. So yeah, we just in general could shrink down the pathways and made it all better due to the new items and all those changes. Okay, let's see. It's still filling up. Okay. Should be done any second, hopefully. Yeah, I see some more items arriving over here. And here we go, the green wool is filled. And the grey stained clay as well. So, here we go. Sorter works properly. That's it. I hope you enjoyed this little update video. You can also take a look at the redstone behind the furnace array down here. It's pretty cool. And I hope that you will be able to provide me with some really cool additions to the storage room here. I'm out. Thanks for watching and see you next time.